Riders live up to the traditions of the silver and black. Big, body, and boastful. Big Sandwich George Bird is 6'8", 280 pounds, and Coach Xavier McDaniel doesn't mince words. Andy and Daniel sure ain't shy, but the mob, they will not be intimidated. Guys like Chris Robbins and LaMonica Garrett won't go quietly.
Well, thank you very much. Joined as always by my partner, Pat Parnell, and Jason Richardson of the Golden State Warriors, the two-time NBA slam dunk champion. The Mob come in with a record of 5-1. The Riders come in at 3-3. And Pat, when you talk about the Mob, it's their defense and their rough style of play that's been the key for them.
Absolutely rough. When you talk about rough, LaMonica Garrett comes to mind, that football aspect. And then in their stopper position, you got a guy like Cassidy. He's definitely going to be stopping a lot of shots. But on the opposite side, you have a guy like George Bird. He's kind of like a carnivorous pterodactyl, just bites things out of the air. But they also have Willis on the scoring option. So two guys you want to watch out for on both sides.
All right, well, a very important game for the Riders because they're 3-3. Jason, how important is it in the game of Slamball to have a big-time stopper?
It's good to have a big-time stopper because you get the defensive stops and you go down and go to the other end of offensive transition. So it's good to have a big guy in the middle that can stop the blocks and the dunks and get the ball out and get down to the other side of the court.
All right, thanks, Jason. The Riders and Mob getting set to start. Let's take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by the United States Army. Well, we'll start with the Riders. Their handler, Calvin Patterson, out of Los Angeles, California. Joe Coca, rough and tumble, 27-year-old gunner. The other gunner is James Willis. He is an outstanding player, played for the Champion Rumble last year. And George Bird, Big Sandwich, 280 pounds, from Washington, D.C. Head coach, former NBA All-Star Xavier McDaniel, played for Seattle, Phoenix, the Knicks, Boston, and the New Jersey Nets. Now let's take a look at the starting four for the Mob. And the handler is Noah Ballou. He's a rookie, but he's taken to this game. He's from Garland, Texas. One of the gunners, Chris Robbins from Virginia, played football at Clemson. Sean Inches Jackson, 33 years of age, one of the most creative players in the league. And Kevin Cassidy, the 25-year-old New York City native, is the stopper. The head coach, 24-year-old Brendan Kirsch from Indianapolis, was a graduate assistant at Ball State. Mob in the black, Riders in the gray. Opening bounce off, tipped and controlled by the Riders. Willis, he'll have an open slam as Cassidy stumbled getting to his stopper position.
Yeah, do not expect to see a lot of that. Cassidy has become a serious threat in the stopper position this year.
Inches Jackson. Got away with a double dribble there. Gets to the tramp, flips it up. Bird knocks it away. Jackson gets it back. Out it goes to Ballou. Lobs it over the head of Robbins, who took a shot from Bird. Here's Willis to the wing. Nudged by Robbins. Coca floats it over Cassidy. Tipped up. Willis nearly got the follow. Get Cassidy. Ooh, and Inches Jackson going for that ball.
It's good to see, too, just the football influence of Robbins. I love the hits that he puts on people.
And that's really the makeup of this Mob team. Here's Ballou. 21-year-old Noah Ballou.
Just blowing right by him.
Ballou saw Slamball on TV, said, I got to try that. Big Bird offense.
It's great to see the stoppers show their prowess on the offense.
Big slam by George Bird. There's a timeout. You're watching Slamball. Welcome back to Slamball. The Mob with the ball, trailing by 3. Here's Anderson. Whoa, Trevor Anderson, who's come on. He's a high wire act.
Anderson definitely spending a lot of time with Jackson, a new player to the Slamball roster this year.
Here's Willis with the floater. James Willis.
Nice soft touch. No, you're talking about that play where Bird just barrels down. It's like watching old football footage of the Ghost making a run for it.
Garrett gets it out to Inches Jackson. Jackson.
Whoa! Jackson took a hit in the face. Man, did he come in with such fury.
Oh, a nice pump slam that time by Bryce Alridge. Riders lead it by 2.
Inches did see the pass coming from Cassidy.
And Cassidy pounds Patterson.
You know, we mentioned it in the earlier season games with Inches.
Garrett and Anderson.
How much of an overall team threat Inches has become. Done a much better job at serving the ball up.
Willis trying to get it off the glass. Cassidy stout with the defense. Jackson. Anderson tried to get it to Garrett.
Just riders swarming on the defense.
Patterson lobs it over the head of Aldridge. Now we're going to get a timeout for the Mob. Well, Inches Jackson, look at this.
We love seeing him get airborne, but look at the contact in the face.
Oh, that's a foul. Give it to him.
A little dermabrasion. Taking part of his nose off the tip there. Well, Inches might be satisfied. I know a lot of fans would like to see him taking more shots, but what he has done as he has diversified himself as a player.
Monica Garrett got Bird in the air, but tough pass for Anderson to handle. So they got Bird into the tramp, but then they didn't convert. Here come the Riders. Marcus Reed. Cassidy bats it out for Jackson. Here comes the break with Trevor Anderson. And, oh, goodness, Trevor.
Question, how do you get through a brick wall? Well, you got a couple options. You can try to go through it, or you can just go over it. And that's exactly what he did with Bird.
Here comes Bird. Boom! George Bird.
Stopper on stopper. Cassidy not being able to hold back Bird.
Anderson. Whoa! Trevor Anderson.
Looked like Anderson had the timing on that, was ahead of Bird, but waited too long to dish the goods.
Aldridge pinned by Cassidy.
Ooh.
Then they tangle up. That clears the tramp for Reed, who lays it in. So the Riders lead it by 4 in a hard-hitting first. Sean Jackson. Try to get it over. Bird, here's Anderson with a slam.
And what a way for Anderson to follow up. He saw that Bird was off to the back of the tramp, comes in, picks up the garbage.
Jason, you gotta like that crash in the offensive glass, right?
Oh, you have to.
Willis gets out of that tramp. Cassie just keeps bouncing around.
Oh, give me that.
Cassie, you ain't taking the back porchway up to the basket.
Reed can't get it. Cassidy does. Tie-up will go to the defense. Cassidy really bringing it in this first quarter of play.
So the lumberjack, Kevin Cassidy, just clear-cutting his way through the stopping zone. Just denying shots left and right. You heard his coach in the early season. He definitely has dictated the tempo of the Mob's games.
Jackson tried to get it to Robbins. Tough pass to handle. Robbins selling out to keep possession. Shot clock at 5. Robbins, little scoop. Bird tips it out. Here comes Patterson. Oh, Cassidy. But Reed gets the layup, but they'll wave it off.
Two Riders, two Riders players in the tramp at once.
Well, George Bird, 6 points, 5 stops, and Cassidy on the other end has been just as strong in the stopper position.
Well, Bob, it has been said it is the season of the stoppers, and that ringing true once again in this game with Bird with some big stops.
After 1, you're watching Slamball. The 3-3 Riders lead the 5-1 Mob by 1 after 1. First quarter statistics.
9 stops for the Mob. Loose balls retrieved even at 9 apiece. Bob Papa, Pat Parnell, Jason Richardson, Jill Arrington. Second quarter bounce off, and the Riders control it. Patterson got Cassidy in the air. Reed couldn't finish it. Cassidy tips it out. Here goes the slam.
There's that scoring threat we're talking about with Willis. It's no secret why he's such a formidable force on offense. He has such great timing on the traps. Wow, Jackson. Wow, trying to throw it down from above. Inches like a U-2 reconnaissance plane. He is just soaring way above the reach of radar on that shot.
Oh, Cassidy back the other way with a steal. LaMonica Garrett, Robbins, Jackson over the head of Garrett. Chased down by Cassidy. Here's Garrett. Garrett draws the contact. Bird shuts him down.
No chance for Garrett on that one to try to blast through Bird. That's just too much mass.
Reed, look at Jackson.
Wow.
The 33-year-old veteran. Let's take a look at the stop goal by Kevin Cassidy.
Love the girth, love the height that Cassidy is able to generate at the stopper position. If you're coming in attempting to score on that, there is just no chance.
Jason, look how strong he is with a guy jumping into him. He's able to hold his ground in midair.
I know, it was amazing how he did it and come down with the ball.
Robbins, tough feed to Paul. Had to get out of that tramp, gets it off for Garrett. Garrett, shot clock at 1. Robbins passes it, that's a violation.
And the Mob looking a bit fragmented at this point.
Well, Robbins and LaMonica Garrett have yet to get on track. Here comes Bird down the wing.
Oh!
Whoa, he got hit by Robbins. That's their play. Look at Cassidy. Oh, Bill Russell with the block, he keeps it in play. Robbins! Oh! Let's see Rob Robbins.
Somebody give me a replay. That was incredible. Robbins left from mid-floor practically. He knew he had to beat the stopper to the punch. And it all started on the other end. Bird trying to take that Bird Expressway, but getting denied by Robbins, and then getting fully denied by Cassidy with the block. And then Robbins with the lightning speed slam. That ball came down so fast.
That's the first time anybody has stepped over to stop George when he's running on the floor, okay? Then we get a great stop because someone stepped over.
Well, George Bird's been running over people all year. Remember against the Rumble and John Williams?
With the yard sale, leaving product everywhere.
But Chris Robbins says, not today, Big George. Well, Robbins did play football at Clemson for a little bit. He knows how to deliver a hit.
Yeah, but going against Bird, that's like trying to, take a hit on the sled. It's a whole different story.
Here comes Bird again. Oh!
Bird came in, no challenge from Robbins. Robbins on the opposite side that time.
And Robbins drawing contact.
And once again, the fire-breathing Gahidra putting it down.
Man, they have to fix those tramps after a Riders game with Bird. Well, on the face-off, it's going to be Coca against Chris Robbins. Should be explosive. See what Robbins has up his elbow pad. Robbins.
And that is a face-off with the veteran skills, the timing and the direct line. Who needs the bells and whistles when you have something that just works fine? Less is more when you're talking about a slam from Robbins.
You're watching Slamball. Welcome back to Slamball. The Mob with it. Here's Paul lobbing it over Bird.
Oh, they were there. Pass was just a little high from Paul.
Jackson scoops it to himself and takes the 2. Like the creativity from the veteran, Jason?
I like it. He knew that he couldn't get it for the dunk, so he just flipped it off the rim and caught it back and just laid it in.
A little delirious deuce right here coming in off the glass. That's just That's where Jackson's creativity really comes into play.
Sean Jackson from South Central Los Angeles. Mob at 5-1 on the season. He has 7 points, and look at the loose balls retrieved, 6.
Listening to Coach Kirsch saying, watch out for Bird. I mean, when Bird is coming down the side, you might as well lay out a spike strip because it takes so much to stop George Bird.
Well, Bird's out of the game.
Oh! What?
Wow.
He got launched like a boomerang. Look at the 180 he does.
Oh, that is Jackson tossing aside a 260-pound man.
Jackson only had 5'11", one of those, what is it?
They
170.
Say, yeah, I don't think it's 170
Yeah.
either.
That's with work boots on and 2 jogging suits. That's amazing.
That felt like a 6.3 on the Richter. I could feel that from up here.
Adema Luli against Jackson. Oh! Jackson stops him! Inches getting up several feet.
Wow.
Wow.
Featherweight against the heavyweight.
Heavyweight.
Yeah.
Wow. That's got to take a lot of courage there by Jackson.
It does. A lot of heart.
Oh, Coach Kirsch loving it. Patterson, there's Robbins with the football background, and
then,
Garrett with a check.
He's got 2 football players on him.
And then he throws it away. They got rid of it a lot sooner. Now we get a whistle. Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, slam ball at its finest.
Somebody call a cop. I think he's getting mugged over here.
So another face-off between Coca and Robbins. Robbins converted on Coca the last time. Mob trailed early. They've surged to the lead in their workmanlike, very physical style. There goes Robbins, does his little fake, got Coca into the tramp. Now Robbins accelerates and slams it.
And that is the cerebral force of Robbins, being the veteran. Thinks about it, fakes him, pulls him into the tramp, and then just takes a nice little one-hander, gets a little touch on it for good measure, and then smacks it down.
Mob have pushed their lead up to 9. Monica Garrett whips it back out to Cassidy. Anderson, tough feed to Ballou. Shot clock is at 5.
Oh.
Garrett getting a pick. Gives it off for Anderson, who lays it up.
And the basket will not count. Shot clock violation, and they will reset.
So the Riders have the ball. The clock continues to move. It does not stop. And here comes Patterson. And there's the horn to end the first half of play. So a hard-fought first half of action. The Mob and Riders squaring off. Let's send it back to our Slamball studio.
The Slamball halftime report is brought to you by Old Spice. Spice things up. And welcome back to the Slamball halftime report. I'm Leila Feinstein alongside Pat Croce and Reggie Theus. And the story here at the half has to be the play of the Mob's Kevin Cassidy and Sean Inches Jackson.
Inches, the Allen Iverson of Slamball. He completely transformed his game in the offseason, dramatically improving his defense, silencing everyone who said he was only one-dimensional.
Pat, you can have Inches because the real deal is 6'3", 225-pound ex-college safety Kevin Cassidy. He's a one-man wrecking crew. This kid looks like a lumberjack, stops everything in his path. Cassidy, without a doubt, my question, is one of the best stoppers in the league right now.
Whoa,
if not
whoa,
the best.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
He might be the best, Pat.
Come on, George Bird, baby Shaq, he's better than him.
This guy brings excitement, and he brings W's to the Mob.
The Riders got that.
All right, well, while my two co-hosts fight it out, let's take a look at other action around the league. Deion Mays in the Rumble taking on the much improved Slashers, but Deion Mays showing the hustle. And then, oh yeah, you know, being moved out of the wing this year. Good move. Mays, massive play over Josh Carlson, and then Jelani, Janice, and David Redmond both not afraid of physical play at all. And here's Whitney White, 30 points on the night. No prettier than that one. His second effort.
He should get 6 points.
And then Janice, the big hit to spring the ball. He takes the hit. He resets, and then he slams it home. Thank you very much, Janice and the Rumble doing big things. Next.
Oh, that was so
Super
nice.
sub. Tommy
Rock
Gates gets
the
his
baby.
whole team down the stretch. The Rumble blow the Slashers out by 55.
Wow.
That's right, 55 points. Final score, 93-38. And speaking of the Rumble, last year, James Willis was a star on that championship team. This year, he finds himself leading the expansion Riders. And as you'll see, Willis is no stranger to the hard work it takes to succeed.
Wake up! Wake up! Come on, wake up, baby.
My day is really hectic. It starts at 11:15 in the p.m. So, you know, when you're sleeping, I'm working. I do more before 6 a.m. than most people do all day. Everything I do is basically for my kids, you know, to better their lives. You know, my dad made his sacrifices for me, and I make my sacrifices for my kids. I work for Albertsons on the night stock crew, midnight to 8 a.m. in the morning. This is not an easy job. It's real physical. You gotta learn how to work these little two-wheelers. I'm too quick for you. The toughest thing about this job is the hours. You don't get the weekends off. You don't get holidays off. When everybody else is playing, man, you're working.
James, come to aisle 7, please. James, aisle 7.
Just doing what he have to do as far as, you know, taking care of his family and coming to practice every day and being a professional about it. Let's go, let's go, James. I'm glad he's on my team. I wouldn't trade him for nothing in the world.
People take a professional athlete's life, you know, for granted. They think it's just all glory, and at this point, you know, it's not. Y'all trying to break my hands. Well, as far as being a role model for my kids, you know, my dad, he might not have been the best dad, but he damn sure taught me how to be a man, and that's what I'm trying to do for my kids. The time that I have in between work, man, it's got to be for them.
A great player with a great work ethic, already paying dividends for Coach Xavier McDaniel. We'll see how he fares in the second half. The Slamball Halftime Report was brought to you by Old Spice. Spice things up.
Universal City, California. The Riders and Mob getting set for the start of the second half. First half stats. The Mob in front, 10 slams to 8. Hits about even. Loose ball slightly on the edge of the Mob. Mob shooting over 50% though from the field. Bounce off to start the third quarter. The Mob at 5-1, looking for their 6th win. Inches Jackson.
There we go. Inches claiming it, pointing up at the judges.
Jason, how would you score that slam?
I get that one to 8. You could have got a little higher.
Ooh, Patterson, who was scoreless in the first half. He's the leading scorer for the Riders. Got hit on the knee.
And it all started with Adema Louie. That's him right there, and you notice he's got his arms on Ballou. He pushes Ballou over, and Ballou goes down on the lower half of Patterson right into the knee.
So that sets up the face-off with the foul on Adema Louie. So it's Ballou against Adema Louie.
And Adema Louie, you saw, he got, after the first committal bounce into that first tramp, there was no stopping him. Adema Louie knew that he couldn't stop the slam because he wasn't committed to the second tramp and he didn't have the timing set. Love that.
Ballou, oh! Almost a great one.
Just couldn't get his fingertips on it.
Patterson denied by Cassidy. Willis, he'll take the 2. Jump right over Cassidy.
Yeah, a little leapfrog for the deuce. Patterson unfettered with that hit to the knee, able to get the good bounce, but Cassidy getting way up there with the block.
13-point lead for the Mob. Here's Ballou. Jackson. Jackal. Bird answers him right back.
Jackson being forced to go down that second tramp.
Oh! Cassidy with a stop.
Oh, like a disgruntled employee. Did you see the way he denied that?
And then Willis with the missed time scoop. Jackson couldn't get the bank pass to Robbins. Marcus Reed. Oh, he got it through somehow. Well, we've seen Cassidy have success against Patterson, but not this time. Marcus Reed able to convert. You're watching Slamball. Welcome back to Slamball. Here come the Riders in transition. Ooh! Patterson couldn't finish it. Cassidy right there. Patterson with the slam.
And Patterson finally figuring out how to get through the stopper Cassidy. He claims it big time.
The Riders on an 11-zip run, but Jackson ends that run with a left-handed slam.
And that's just clean textbook style on the slam from Jackson.
Sean inches Jackson.
Doesn't have the flair of the McNasty. It's something we've seen in the early season, but hey, you know what? It's still worth 3. Even his basic slams are nice to watch.
Here's Patterson for the Riders, shouldered by Jackson, and we get a whistle and a foul.
Bob, I gotta tell you, a little questionable. I mean, he was so far out on the wing, they're claiming the contact was in the air.
Sets up the face-off. Patterson will start it from the wing. Faking. Here comes Patterson. Jackson!
Oh, that was a clean stop. I gotta give Jackson heaps of credit. He came in with such direction. See how much distance he had to cover, and then he was able to change his direction to go completely vertical to make it a clean stop. See how vertical he's going, up and down. That's exactly how you want to be when you're in the face-off on the defender position.
I'm hitting him hard.
Yeah, he might only be 5'7", but he has really long arms.
What's up, my people out there in Allentown, PA?
Here comes Big George Bird. Hits Garrett. Bird again. And he can't get the banker to fall.
Garrett wasn't having it. He did. And now Garrett's dishing out to Bird on the way back.
Aldridge can't finish it.
But Bird is relentless on that south play where he just drives down, trying to take it in from the wing.
Bad pass that time by Anderson. Picked off by Patterson. Patterson flips it off to slams it. Nice play by Calvin Patterson. Monica Garrett. Garrett on Bird.
Ooh! And Bird came right down on top of Garrett.
Patterson, errant pass. Cassidy pops up and gets it. Here's Trevor Anderson to Robbins. Bird get it to fall.
Bird's just all over him.
He's Big Bird.
Oh!
George Bird. Daniels takes a hit from Robbins.
And this is where the Riders could get some momentum, but they can't have passes like that because Bird is doing his job on the D.
Patterson with the scoop and 2 points, and the Riders are within 5 now. So the 15-point lead has been cut by 10. Robbins, led by Bird. Ballou gets it out of the tramp.
I'd like to see the Mob get back to those lobs over Bird. That was what was working early on.
Ballou on the island.
3 on the island.
So a 3-second violation on Ballou on the island as the clock continues to spin. Riders have to hustle up here. Get a playoff before the end of the third. Patterson. Here comes Big George Bird. They don't give it to him. Instead, Patterson takes it to the rack. Denied by Cassidy. And that is the end of the third quarter. Kevin Cassidy and George Bird, the 2 stoppers, have been awesome in this game.
Well, as we've seen in the 2003 season of Slamball, it's all come down to the stoppers. They are the rhythm makers of the game. And it's been George Bird on one side, Cassidy on the other. Can they maintain?
A stopper's delight. Mob in front. Fourth quarter to come. Slamball on Spike TV. Slamball is sponsored by Old Spice. Spice things up. And by the United States Army, an army of one. Mob lead it by 5 as we start the fourth quarter. Stats through 3. And you see the Mob, 16 of 35 from the field. The hits relatively close, same with the loose balls retrieved.
Yeah, I mean,
Mob led by as many as 15.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting a few more on the hit side from the Mob, from guys like Garrett, but as we've seen in previous games, it's really the fourth quarter where the inner beast starts to come out from Garrett.
Well, Willis's slam gets the Riders to within 2. Here's Blue. Oh, man. Blue.
Love where he took off on that.
Reed.
Cassidy. A mid-air purse snatching once again.
Jackson on a great feed from Blue. Look at Cassidy.
Mid-air, snacks the cam right out of his hands.
Daniels. Tough feed. Pat, that dive there by Cassidy just sums up the hits in this game.
Tell me about it. Both these teams have a flavor for the physical friction, and the tone was set early. So many hits by the Mob players.
A lot of jawing. Anderson and Daniels going nose to nose. These two battling all over the court.
And then just total reckless abandon for one's physical safety. Big hit by Anderson there, and then there. The lumberjack who throws himself into the boards.
Mob lead it by 5. Here's Big George.
Burn.
Oh, boy. Oh! That's the word.
Wow.
He was so incredibly high. The spring, I don't think I've ever seen a tramp go that low on the rebound.
All right, the Mob with it. Blue tipped away by Reed. Nice hit by Jackson, who gets the ball.
Seeing excellent hustle from Jackson throughout the game, start to finish here.
Blue's got to get it up. And Bird picks it out of the air. Here's a 2-on-1. Patterson.
Cassidy could not get up in time.
And the Riders down 40-25 have taken the lead here in the 4th.
Well, Patterson, was literally completely quiet in the first half of the game, was scoreless.
Willis. That's 2.
And they're going to count it. Yeah, Cassidy's fist came through.
Well, I should make it 3. It's the slam for Reed.
The defiant fist through the hoop. Watch Cassidy as he comes up here.
Yeah.
2 hands.
So look at this. It was 40-25. Riders on a 12-zip run. It was 40-25 at one point. Jackson puts it up toward the rack. Big Bird bats it away.
The Mob, if they intend to take this game within just, what, 2:20 left to go.
Willis, he's flying.
Here we go. Both teams clearing out. Here we go right here.
Hey, Trevor Anderson was protecting his teammate after Willis laid out Jackson.
Stop, all right? That's stupid.
With a hard hit.
Seemed after the play, though.
Great job, though, by the officials and the coaches to make sure that fist did not start flying. Now, Trevor Anderson saw his team leader, Sean Jackson, get laid out, and he went to protect him as he laid a hit on Willis. Let's watch it here. There's Willis.
Cheap shot.
Look at Anderson.
Talk about having your boys back. I mean, what?
Cheap shot.
Well, this has been a hard-fought game, and look, Xavier McDaniel right in the middle of the fray with the pushing and shoving, and the X-Man makes sure that no punches are thrown. Trevor Anderson has been ejected. That's a big loss. All right, Sean Jackson has done a nice job in this game, and he'll be battling with Willis. And you know Jackson wants to get this
he's
slam.
gonna go hard.
Well, it's a huge 3 points for the Mob right now.
There we go.
Jackson couldn't do it.
Did they give him 2?
Yeah,
they got 2. He tapped it in.
Couldn't
get a slam.
Couldn't get the slam on it, but just tenacious, holding on up there, taking his time, and then finally getting it through. And seeing this angle a little bit better, getting his knuckles on it.
So they get 2 out of it. 2 is better than none at this point.
We have a close game here.
Yeah. Mob within 2. They've led in this contest. Robbins. Garrett. Shot clock down to 5. Garrett thrown down by Patterson. Gets it to Robbins. He's got to get it up. Does not. Not aware of the shot clock. So shot clock. Well, now we have 2 minutes. We've got the 2-minute timeout as we send it back to the Slamball studio.
Thanks, Bob. Man, it looks like the Riders are on the verge of upsetting the Mob.
Leela, if they win this one, they're in great position for the playoff.
If I'm the Mob, I'm going straight to Inches or Garrett for the big play on offense and counting on Cassidy to shut him down on D.
Well, can the Riders get it done? We'll send you back for the conclusion of the game. Let's go out to Bob Papa.
Well, thank you very much. Under 2 minutes to go. Any jump shots outside the Tramps are worth 3 points. Clock stops on the official's whistle. Here's Big George Bird, gets it to Patterson, middle of the floor on Cassidy, and Cassidy stops him. Big stop. Here's Jackson in transition. On Bird, Jackson can't finish it.
He had the height, tried to go over Bird's shoulder, couldn't do it.
Garrett. Bird gives the Mob the lead.
Puts Bird down over the nest. Watch Garrett over the shoulders of Bird. And Bird just tumbling down.
Reed to the Tramp, gets out, gives for Willis. Shot clock at 1. Willis forces it up, shot clock violation. Excellent D by the Mob, and I think the Riders were not realizing that the shot clock starts immediately after the bucket, not when it gets to half court. They took their time. Here's Garrett in the front court. He's got Robbins. Tough pass. Robbins will kick it back out to Garrett. Garrett to the Tramp. Garrett with another slam.
LaMonica Garrett lays it. Just a gargantuan rim grinder over Bird.
Garrett, who has been very quiet in this game with 2 huge slams here in the final 2 minutes.
Well, if you're going to step up, what a great time to do it in the last 2 minutes of the game.
LaMonica, you have the option to either attack the top trap or once you make that pass, Sean, you cut through and run normal motion, okay? D up, let's go.
Let's go. Finish on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Riders are out of timeouts. Mob have 1 full timeout left. Coach Kirsch setting up the offense, almost assuming that the Riders probably going to score.
Well, you say Kirsch is a real Socrates of the set plays. And, you know, if he can stick to that mindset, he knows it's been working with Garrett. Garrett's been able to penetrate Bird.
George Bird!
They've been able to penetrate Bird, but Bird penetrating them.
George Bird testing the Tramps.
Penetration annihilation.
Here's Garrett from the middle Tramp. Garrett denied by Bird. Jackson battling for it. And a violation against the Mob. So the Riders now with a chance to take the lead. Here comes Bird down the right wing. Oh, Jackson with a hit! Jackson with a huge hit on the 280-pound Bird. Here's Robbins. Can't finish. Patterson with the stop. Willis gets a screen.
And Bird gets it to the back of Jackson after that hit.
And he controls it again. How does he do it? Robbins. Jackson! And the Mob lead it by 4.
Inches laying down a little bit of his own law with that slam.
Now a 3 and a double dribble on Patterson. And a timeout for the Mob. How about Sean Jackson, the 33-year-old? Patterson is livid about the double dribble call, but how about Jackson with the defensive play and then the finish on the other end? Look at Jackson giving away 120 pounds.
Wow, that's the second big hit he had this night.
But then on the opposite side, there's Inches, and look at Bird lurking, waiting for a little payback hit.
And then Jackson on the feed from Robbins. Sean Jackson pointing at Pat Parnell.
I'm feeling it.
Jackson wants a little love from Pat and Jason. So obviously the Riders must score here with 17.9 to go. Remember, a jump shot is worth 3. Here comes big George Bird, gets a double screen.
Checks his own player on that.
A little too high. Dishing is not his forte. Here's Patterson for 3. Rims out. Cassidy, the rebound. Gets it off for LaMonica Garrett, who's going to just hold it. And that is going to do it. The Mob squandered a 15-point lead. They were trailing, but they execute in the final 2 minutes. Sean Inches Jackson doing it on both ends of the floor. And let's take a look at the most valuable player for the game.
You know, early in the season, you know, he said, I want to be the all-around player, and he's done just that. He's providing defense. He's doing the set plays. He's taking the hard hits, and that is why he's tonight's MVP.
Let's send it down to Jill.
Sean, there's no intimidation by you. You're hitting guys 100 pounds heavier than you.
I have to, man. You know, I got to show what I, said I was going to make up from last year. I said last year, you know what I'm saying, when I come to the new season, all I'm going to do is hits. You know, I'm playing defense. All it is on my mind is defense, never offense. It's always defense. I'm going to let the Mob do the offense.
All right, Inches, Sean Jackson doing it both. Offense, defense, Bob, back to you.
All right, Jill, another victory for Inches Jackson and the Mob. Now let's send it back to our Slamball studio.
A fantastic finish to a close game as the Mob stave off the Riders.
Hey, look, I tell you what, young Brendan Kirsch is doing a great job with this Mob team. They're getting stronger as the season goes on, and that's evident by their huge hit that Inches put on Pat's guy, George Bird.
But let's not count out this Riders team yet. They're still in the playoff picture, and they have the muscle and the heart to stay right in it.
Yes, they do. And take a look at tonight's flow action moment, courtesy of the Riders' big George Bird.
Let's see. Force equals mass times acceleration. 280 pounds, 15 feet off the ground. You do the
Forget
math.
the physics. This is just a slam ball slam.
Join us again next week from Universal Studios City Walk when we'll see if the Mob can maintain their momentum as they face a must-win Diablos team trying to salvage their season. In the meantime, be sure to log on to www.slamball.net for all the latest standing stats and scores. And for everyone here at Slamball, I'm Leila Feinstein. Good night.
Production consideration provided by Universal Studios Hollywood.